Part Project, present to you by Sweet Talker, Riz the Wizard. Back in 2017, I was curious about quadcopter with wings, meaning what will happen if wings are added to a quadcopter. No, I am not talking about VTOL or tailsetter aircraft. The question I had, can wings mounted on a quadcopter would increase the efficiency of the quadcopter in forward flight mode, consuming less current? 1 year later, while I was designing and building the quadcopter, Amazon proved the concept viable when they introduced MK-30 drone delivery system, which is a quadcopter with fixed wing without any tilting motors or pusher props. The acute angle geometry of the wing and motor placement relative to the fuselage provides lift during forward flight mode, reducing current draw. Since I already had designed and built my concept called the pod, I decided to move forward with the flight testing. Originally, I was using the Pixhawk Mini on the pod, but due to some lack of functionality on Pixhawk Mini, and perhaps my own limited knowledge in ArduPilot, it suffered major crash. Luckily for me, I had made 2 identical prototypes, so on my second prototype, I used a Chinese knockoff Pixhawk, which has been tested on another X-frame quadcopter earlier. On the first test flight, I intentionally used X-frame type despite the frame on hand is a H-frame. After seeing poor yaw control and reading some reasoning behind why H and X frames are reversed, I switched to H-frame. Net results, unflyable pod. I know some of you might suggest auto-tune, but the reality is that the plane has to be stable enough for me to auto-tune. One of the flaws in my design is that the prop wash is directly on the wings, which produces forward pitching force. On one hand, this forward pitching force helps in forward flight mode, but in a loiter mode, it creates harmonics which makes flight controller go nuts, as this can be seen here. So abrupt when in forward motion. I almost crashed this for the second time. Log file link is in the description below. Perhaps someone can tell me if there is any parameters that can be adjusted. I wonder if the control loop is too slow on Pixhawk. Here's the log file of the yaw control input and output. You can see that they are on 2 different planets. Bottom line, I am going to abandon this contraption and focus more on tailsetter in the future. Perhaps the fuselage can be recycled as a fixed wing with pusher prop, but for now I'm done with this project.